Let me ask you a question that sounds simple, but isn't. If your life stayed exactly the same for the next 5 years, same routines, same habits, same days on repeat, would you feel relieved or quietly terrified? Because for many people, nothing is actually wrong, and that's the most dangerous place to be. You wake up, you function, you do what's expected. You're not failing. You're not in crisis. You're not falling apart. From the outside, your life looks fine. Stable, controlled, reasonable. And yet there's this feeling you can't explain. Not sadness, not pain, not depression, just a quiet emptiness that follows you around. You can't point to a single problem. There's nothing obvious to fix, nothing dramatic to blame. And that makes the emptiness even more confusing. Most people think emptiness comes from failure, from loss, from things going wrong. But for many people today, emptiness comes from the opposite. Nothing is wrong. Your life is comfortable, predictable, safe. You have routines, you have stability. You know what tomorrow looks like before it arrives. And your brain doesn't know what to do with that. The human brain didn't evolve for endless comfort. It evolved for tension, for challenge. When there's no pressure, no resistance, the brain doesn't relax. It goes numb. That numbness doesn't feel dramatic. It feels like boredom, restlessness, a dull dissatisfaction that never fully leaves. So you fill the space. You scroll. You distract yourself, not because you're weak, but because silence reveals something uncomfortable. Nothing is pulling you forward. You don't wake up excited, but you're not miserable enough to change anything. And that middle state is where people stay stuck. Because pain forces movement, but comfort delays it. When everything is okay, there's no signal to act. No alarm, no urgency. So days blend together. You stay occupied. You stay productive enough. But you're not building anything alive. This is why motivation doesn't show up. Motivation needs friction. But when nothing is wrong, there's nothing to resist. And without resistance, there's no growth. Comfort isn't evil. But endless comfort is dangerous. Not because it hurts you, but because it slowly erases meaning. You stop choosing. You start drifting. And drifting feels exactly like emptiness. Here's the uncomfortable truth most people avoid. You don't feel empty because you lack happiness. You feel empty because you lack tension. Healthy tension. Chosen difficulty. Voluntary challenge. The kind that gives your days a shape. Think about the moments you felt most alive. They weren't the easiest moments. They weren't the most comfortable ones. They were moments when something mattered, when something was at stake, when you had to show up fully. Effort creates meaning. Responsibility creates weight. Commitment creates direction. But modern life teaches us to remove friction, to make everything easier, faster, more efficient. And in doing so, we remove the very thing that makes life feel real. When was the last time you chose something hard on purpose? Not because you had to. Not because someone forced you. Not for money or approval. But because it mattered. Most people can't answer that question. Because their lives are designed around avoiding discomfort, avoiding risk, avoiding responsibility. But meaning doesn't live in ease. It lives in effort. In choosing something that demands consistency. Something that requires sacrifice. Something you can't escape from when it gets uncomfortable. You don't need your life to fall apart to feel alive again. You don't need drama. You don't need chaos. You don't need pain. You need friction. One challenge that isn't comfortable. One direction that isn't safe. One commitment you can't scroll away from. That's how emptiness disappears. Not by fixing what's broken, but by building what's missing. Meaning isn't found. It's created. And it starts the moment you stop asking, why do I feel empty? And start asking, what am I avoiding that would give my life weight?